Hello everyone and welcome back to One Bag, One World. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for continuing to support this channel. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button as it helps support the channel and helps bring us more content like this. Let's get into today's video. We have the 6 Moon Designs ADC plus 45 liter backpack. Now this is a bag slash company that I have wanted to will into existence since my first foray into the world of one bag travel. And why is that? 6 Moon Design started out as a thru hiking ultralight company, and it shows in this bag. What that means is that they genuinely care about weight because they are carrying these bags for thousands of miles at a time. 6 Moon Designs, the name even comes from 6 months spent on the trail, i.e. something like the Appalachian Trail. They have put their harness system through thousands of miles of testing. So we can rest assured that this thing has been well tested by people who genuinely care about this stuff. This isn't some big marketing company that spends a lot of money into making it look pretty at the cost of functionality and form. I mean, this is a tried and true bag, and I think you guys are really gonna dig it. So let's jump right into some of the features. First off, let's talk about some of the materials, specs, weight, all that jazz. Now, I have this here in the 200D Robic. I had a similar bag like the Go Ruck that's in a 200D Robic, which I really liked. It's a great material, and it's one of the cheapest materials that they offer this bag in. It also comes in an X pack, as well as the Ultra sailcloth material that's starting to kind of emerge upon the market right now. Now the Ultra and the Robic weigh about the exact same, but there's about a $240 price difference between the two. Now this 200D Robic is gonna come in at about $426. Now the Ultra one is about 600 something, and then there's an X pack in the middle around the 500s. That's for the 45 liter. It'll obviously be a little bit cheaper for the 35 liter. The dimensions for this bag are 21 by 12 by 8 inches. Now there's a 1 inch difference between this and the 35 liter, and that is all just in depth in the main compartment, which I'll show you at a little bit later. In centimeters for the rest of the world, that is 30 by 55 by 21 centimeters. And again, there's about a 3 centimeter difference between this and the 35 liter version of this bag. In terms of weight, this bag with the hip belt and harness system comes in at 48 ounces, which is exactly 3 pounds. That is the exact same weight as the Ultra. Those are the 2 lightest versions, and it gets a little bit heavier if you want to go for the X pack. If for some reason you don't want the hip belt, it's about 6.6 ounces that you can shave off your weight, and I think the harness is about 6.1. Maybe I have those flipped up, but you can put in your own harness system if that's something that you have available to you. Most ultralighters and maybe thru hikers might already have that. However, I'm just going to use it out of the box. Now for a 3-pound bag, they do not skimp on any features, and that's what I love about this bag. It's the perfect combination of ultralight functionality with all of the things that we love about these big brands like Matador, Peak Design. They nailed everything. I feel like you're not really missing anything. The one thing that I think some of you guys might not like is maybe the aesthetic of the bag, because you can tell that it is a bit more ultralight thru hiker kind of aesthetic, but they did a good job of blending the two. And I'll show you maybe the one place that I have a pain point with it, but the rest of it I really love. So you have YKK Aquaguard zippers all the way around. That's gonna help with your water resistance. They do sell an additional rain shell if you're worried about more kind of wet conditions, but this really should be okay to kind of get you from the hotel to the cab to the airport if that's kind of what you're doing. The inner lining, because I mentioned that this is a 200D Robic nylon exterior, is their sailcloth material, so it's super lightweight, very tear resistant. It's really nice material, so nothing but top end materials here, and you can obviously see that reflected in the high price point. Starting out up front, we have a stash pocket right here where you can stuff a jacket, anything quick access in here. I know this came up in the Matador 35, but there are no drainage pockets here at the bottom, so this could potentially fill with water. However, they do sell a rain shell accessory that would cover this and make that a non-issue. It is pretty thick. It doesn't feel as porous as the Matador one, so I'm not sure how well this would contain water, and I'm not about to go dump a cup of water down here to test it out. You'll notice that there's some subtle branding. Right here we've got the 6 Moon Designs logo. There's also ADC Plus here at the top. In all of their colorways, this will be the color of the material that you have the bag in. So it'll always kind of blend and be very subtle. While there are some branding spots, like right here on the side, it should say 6 Moon Designs on this water bottle pocket. I do think that it's kind of hard to see unless you're looking for it, which I kind of like. It helps you have a little bit more of a stealthier aesthetic. Again, we have YKK Aquaguard zippers here. It's really great that they all have these little zipper garages. I really like those. It just kind of helps protect the ends if any water is going to get in there. Some of these are lockable zippers. You'll see them on this admin compartment right here, YKK Aquaguard lockable, as well as the main compartment access up here. There are also all these attachment points on the side. These are great for the compression straps they send with the bag, although you can attach them at the top and the bottom as well. You have 2 water bottle pockets. On one side, you have a 40-ounce, 1.5 liter water bottle pocket, which is amazing. That's really, really nice capacity. It's gigantic, huge pocket. I love traveling with about 40 ounces of water. I drink a ton of water, so for me, this is great. It's also very deep, which means that I don't have to worry about my water bottle falling out. On the other side, it's a much smaller pocket, more for an umbrella is kind of what they talk about, but you could definitely fit a smaller water bottle, especially if it's just one that you grab from a convenience store while you're transiting through the airport. Again, I've got my compression straps right here. On the side with a smaller water bottle pocket, you have a pretty beefy grab handle here. This is great for when you want to carry it in duffel mode. It's very, very comfortable. I really like this, and you'll notice that it's very different from this top grab handle right here, which is definitely just more of a piece of fabric, pretty much for hanging the bag. Again, on the exterior, there are lots of lash points. You can see kind of all these dangles everywhere, but there are hooks right here on the side by the bigger water bottle pocket, and down here, these are trekking loop attachment points, so you can attach something like that. There's also this elastic band here if you want to put something larger, maybe like a tripod. You could also cinch them down with these compression straps on the side. There are hooks just about everywhere on this bag, which is really, really nice. Now, I've been using this for just a couple of days. I packed it out. Obviously, it's quite full at the moment, but I wanted to leave these on. I didn't take these little tags off. Every single thing that they have in this bag is weighed individually. So the bag by itself is actually 2 pounds. And then I'll tell you right here, the harness system, the recommended torso length, the padding, the weight of this. So the harness system is 6.1 ounces or 172 grams. This is in the large size. There is a medium, I think, and a small. It comes with a sternum strap with a whistle, always nice to have. There are 2 pockets on the exterior here. On either side, both can fit a cell phone. You could also put a water bottle in there. The sternum strap is adjustable through these webbing loops all the way up. They're really nice, comfortable straps. They're not super, super beefy, but they're all ventilated mesh, which is really gonna help with airflow. On the back here, you also have a ventilated foam mesh panel here, and you can see here that the harness system is adjustable. You can move it up and down. Now, I'm right at a 19-inch harness, so I'm pretty much exactly where most people are manufacturing backpacks for, so I didn't need to adjust mine. Your mileage may vary, but you can adjust it. There is a hip belt down here at the bottom, and it's got this kind of unique V-shaped anchor system to clip it together, which really helps with load distribution and secures it. Now, these straps are a little bit annoying, but I do like that they have color-coded stitching. So yellow will be for the hip belt, orange will be for your shoulder straps to tie those down. So even in a pinch, if you're in a hurry, you can quickly identify which one you're tightening. This can be removed. There are 2 little hooks here on the side that actually tie it in to the bag, as well as a Velcro portion down here, which you can quickly pull up and rip out. What you'll also notice here is that there are zippers on the side. And it's just kind of a piece of fabric, and at first, it's like, well, what do I do with this? It's so that you can stow your shoulder straps if you ever have to check the bag. You just stow them over like this and you zip it up. It seems a little tight, and I haven't actually played around with this too much, but in every video I've seen it is doable, and it looks like you can actually get that in there. You have load lifters, which will help anchor the bag to your body, which is really, really nice. I think these are a must on a size 45-liter bag. We got 2 of those. There are a lot of straps. This is probably my big knock on this bag, is that there are a lot of straps. You've got your load lifter straps, which are quite long. You have one back here for the hip belt to cinch it back to the back of the bag. You have 2 up here on either side of the hip belt for the buckles on both sides. Then you've got your shoulder strap tightener. At least this one does come with a strap keeper. In fact, most of them do, which is kind of nice. But there's just too much excess for me. I had too much excess material, and it was kind of driving me crazy a little bit. We already talked about this front stash pocket right here. Great for shoving a sweater when you're in transit. There's a smaller zippered pocket. This is probably one of the best quick access pockets. I just have my passport wallet in here, headphones. This is exactly where I'd put stuff as I'm going through security. It's about yay deep down here, so not full depth. Moving up along the bag, you have your admin panel. Now, this admin panel is where you obviously can store pens, things like that, your foam clamp for the plane. I have my day pack in here because this is a full depth pocket. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the bag. This is where my fingers are right now. So for me, it's a perfect place to store a day pack because it goes all the way down to the bottom, and I'm not sure what else I'm gonna put in there. It also has, let me make sure you can see this, it has a zippered compartment up here with a key leash for your keys, and maybe if you want to put anything like a Kindle or something that you don't want going all the way down to the bottom of the bag, but you still want in this admin compartment, which I think is a very nice touch. Maybe you put your passport in there, something like that. There are these non-stretchy pockets right here, power banks, things like that. Med kit, not sure. There are some stretchier pockets though, down here, and I really, really like these. I like that they're stretchy because I do have some bulkier items that I don't always necessarily like when bags have these pockets because they just don't fit them as well. You have two pen pockets up here. They're quite long. I assume for something for ultralight hiking, maybe some sort of pole, but there those are. I kind of like that they're sideways. It's a cool little look. Moving on, we've got the main compartment. Let's show you the interior of this bag. Okay, now, as I mentioned, this is the 45-liter bag, and there is a 35-liter version. The big difference is that there is 1 extra inch of space in the 45-liter in terms of depth. Now, I've got a Peak Design medium packing cube in here, and you can see there's actually about 2 inches of space on top of that. For me, that is perfect for a pair of shoes to go right on top, and that's exactly what I would do with that extra inch to 2 inches of capacity that you're gonna see right there. These are from Flux. They're a great barefoot shoe company. I really, really, really love these. I've been using them every day. I wear them to the gym, I wear them to run. Love those shoes. If you're looking for a one bag shoe, these are some of my favorite. You can throw them in the wash when you need to clean them and they come out looking brand new. Now again, I mentioned I've got my Peak Design cube. This is my go-to packing cube. I use it in every packing video, so hopefully if you're a returning viewer to the channel, this will help give you some idea of the capacity that this bag has to offer. In the 35-liter, there are only 3 of these built-in compression straps, and I don't really mean built-in. You can remove them like you can in all of them. They're a little different. They've got the branding all the way across, but I kind of like it. It's not a big deal for me, especially because it's on the interior of the bag. This Peak Design cube is going to take up about a little over 50% of the bag, maybe 60% of the bag. And this is pretty packed out, but there is a ton of room. I could put still maybe about 1 inch of stuff on the side, half an inch of stuff on the side. I again have that about 1 to 2 inch clearance all the way around for shoes. This is my toiletry kit up here, and there's still about a fist of length all the way at the top. So there is a ton of capacity in this bucket here for you to configure how you want. They have 2 mesh pockets on the inside of the bag right here. They're quite large. I almost wish they had combined them into one because then my shoes would fit better. I've just got a little travel clothesline in here, nothing crazy. In this side though, I wanted to show that you could fit shoes. So I've got my rainbow sandals in here. I'm size 12, I have giant clown feet. And it's really nice when I can put my sandals in one of these mesh bags up here, so I don't really have them just on top of my packing cube. I like to have them kind of separate, so I can't put them in. They have to be at an angle here. If you have smaller feet, maybe you could get away with, you know, going kind of north to south on this. They have to go at an angle, which kind of stinks because it basically wastes the space, but it's really not that big of a deal, and it's nice that they can accommodate that. That is pretty much all you have for storage in here, except for this cool little pocket. Now, this allows you to access the frame sheet, and there is an internal frame sheet, and you can see these bars, these aluminum kind of metal bars that go all the way through this, and this is what helps give this bag such a comfortable carry. And this is why I really wanted a hiking company to come up with a travel backpack, because their harness systems are no joke. And I'll never forget the first time I went to China, my brother and I, we got off a bus at the wrong stop. We were a mile away from our hostel. My one bag at the time was a Sierra Nevada hiking backpack, and I swear that was the only reason I made it that mile in any sort of decent shape. It was a heavy bag, and we had to walk for a mile with it, and ever since then I've been in love with hiking bags, but they just never seem to fit the carry-on compliant requirements, so I always end up going with regular bags. That's why this is so great. It is a merger of the two, and they've done an excellent job. One of the things that you can use this little zipper for, because I'm sure you're wondering why I opened this up and then went on a tangent, is that you can store your documents in here, passport, anything sensitive. It's already inside your bag, so it's already pretty secure, but I like that it'll also probably be covered up by whatever you have in here, so anyone who's trying to be a little opportunistic might miss it if your packing cube is still in place. You can see here probably that my laptop, I don't know if it's coming through on the camera, is right here, and that's because there is a laptop compartment. Now, it doesn't go down all the way, just to about this zipper kind of, and it's just a little piece of fabric. There's no extra padding, but you don't really need it. I always do feel like laptop compartments are a little over-engineered. All I really care about is that there's kind of a false bottom. Even that, meh. You know, I'm not slamming my bag down very often, but it is nice to have just so you don't have to worry about it. So there's one extra zippered area right back here, and that is the laptop compartment. Now, again, just like the Matador Globe Rider 35 that I reviewed recently, this one doesn't lock, which again feels like a miss. Now there is this little loop right here but you could use some sort of lock to lock this zipper pull through here just to give you some little extra security. It does have a zipper garage. It is YKK Aquaguard again, and that brings you into this compartment here, which is your laptop slash water bladder compartment. It fits, this is a 14-inch, but it can fit up to a 16-inch. The width might be a little tight. I don't have a 16-inch to try. Now, this is maybe one of my complaints with this bag. You can see I'm trying to push it in and it's not going. And that's because the frame is basically just these two metal poles that go like this. Kind of makes like a wishbone shape. And the way that this is positioned is that I'm basically hitting those poles because the weight of the bag is pushing the laptop down. So it's actually much better. Just a little pro tip if you get this bag, to flip it over and then push against this side, because it'll slide right in and then you're not pushing against the frame. And you can feel that frame all the way throughout the bag. I mean, I can feel it right here. Here's the wire that I'm holding, and it goes right up here around the top. You can see maybe the outline of it if you push the fabric down all the way around, but that is what gives this such a comfortable carry. Now, in terms of capacity, they say that main compartment that we just looked at is about 40 liters of the capacity, and they say there's an extra 8 right here in this mesh compartment, and then there's like 3 in the front top quick access pocket and 5 in the admin panel. So that actually works out to be way more than 45 liters. If you really pack it out, this can get quite large. But you can tell with this kind of material, it is a little bit saggy. I don't know if the Ultra or the X-Pack holds their shape a little bit more. I presume the X-Pack does because it is kind of a thicker material. But I like the fact that the Robic is the perfect blend of everything. It's cheaper, it's the same weight as the high-end one. It offers all the same features and functionality. So you cannot go wrong with this type of bag. With this material, it's perfect. And it is expensive. You're paying about, you know, 426 bucks for this, but I think it's worth it if you really are counting every ounce, because you will never find a 45-liter backpack that is right at 3 pounds that can be brought down under 3 pounds if you remove the hip belt. I looked for so long, there's really nothing out there that's anything like this. And that's also why I would do the 45-liter over the 35-liter, because the 35-liter is only 1 ounce lighter. And I can't justify basically getting the exact same weight for 10 liters less of space. For me, that's just a non-starter. So I would always go with a 45-liter and just underpack it if I need to. I don't think that 1 inch of depth is gonna make that much of a difference for carry-on compliance. Maybe it will, but a lot of these times it's up to the gate agent, and I just don't see them carrying that much. Now, it is an incredibly comfortable harness system. The shoulder straps are incredibly comfortable. I love the hip belt. It fits really well. There is a lot of danglage. I'm about 5'9", 180 pounds, and this bag wears really, really well on me. It is extremely comfortable, and I could see myself using it for many, many trips to come, especially where weight is a concern. I hope you really enjoyed this review. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. It really means the world. If you haven't already, please click that like and subscribe. It helps support the channel at no additional cost to you. Sometimes we have coupon codes and links in the description below. If I do, I'll put them down there. If you want to watch some of our other videos, I'll put them somewhere around here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Take care.